The evidence seems to indicate that you're watching Dolly Vision.
Topping up, Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast feel so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Tracks on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby missing shadows crawl? People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, king the beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shining, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on their light. Topping up, Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast feel so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Tracks on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby missing shadows crawl? People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, king the beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shining, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on their light.
YouTube, where's the babies? Where's the babies? We are going on day 9 of Lily and little Jack Sullivan missing from Nova Scotia. Okay, so I'm going to give you the latest info that's coming out on that. And as you can see from the title, it says Jack and Lily Sullivan. Did we overlook a huge clue? And we're going to talk about that today. But first, of course, leave your DNA on that like button just in case you go missing in the hills of Tennessee, or if you go missing in Nova Scotia, Dolly can come hunt you down, come find you. But I'm going to need your DNA on file. We just hit 63,000 subscribers. Wow! I can't even count that high. So if you're brand new out there and you're watching and you haven't subbed up yet, help us hit 64. We're on that road to 100K so I can get my little plaque to hang on my wall back there that says Dolly has 100,000 subscribers. Okay, so I need you. So if you're watching, sub up, ring the bell for notifications, and feel free to share my ugly face everywhere, as long as it's not Pornhub. No Pornhub, people. I know how much y'all want to put me up there, but you can't do it. You cannot do it. In all these cases, I like to give a little warning. Dolly Vision's for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories, mixed with a little bit of comedy and a whole lot of chaos. Okay? So don't take nothing here as fact. It's just my opinion, completely satire. The callers today, their opinions are theirs and theirs alone, not to reflect on the Dolly. Everyone is innocent to proven guilty in a court of law. That even goes for Jack and Lily's parents. And the biggest one of them all, don't try to be Dolly at home. It's dangerous. It is super dangerous. And if your head explodes, I'm completely not responsible. Okay? And if you enjoy the show, make sure you tip your entertainer. Dolly gotta eat. I gotta eat too. Okay? So anyway, the last 9 days, searches have been going on all over Pictou County, Nova Scotia, part of Canada, for these 2 little kids that went missing under strange circumstances, very strange circumstances. Last Friday, 2 children open up a glass sliding door on a double wide mobile home in the middle of nowhere, slip out, and just magically vanish. Now, for the last 8 days, well, 7 days, the police were searching nonstop, set up a big grid search, and they believed that their grid was so big that these children could not have got out of that grid, that these children are not in the woods that they are searching, which is very bad. And the 8th day, they pretty much called, well, reduced the search, right? Told searchers they wasn't needed, not to come in, that they were going to go back and search some of the locations that they already searched. We learned yesterday that they were searching waterways, okay, by boat and divers and things like that. So they were out there searching the water just in case these kids did get out of that house and somehow make their way to one of these waterways and fell in. Now, usually in a situation like this, we have kids that go missing. It's usually just one kid. It's not usually 2 children that go missing simultaneously like this. Or when a kid falls into a lake, it's usually one kid and not 2 kids. Most of the time, one kid runs back to get help, but that don't seem to be the case. And from the story, we know Lily herself is a little bit of a screamer. Okay, she got some lungs. That child has some lungs on her. She can scream and holler, and you would hear her in the woods. Now, as loud as she was on the video we seen of the birthday party, it's hard to believe that these children didn't wake the parents up. Now, the parents said they slept in till about 10 o'clock, that they had got up, but they were in and out of sleep, okay? A lot of rumors. We're going to get into the rumors in just a minute. I want to stick to just the basic facts right now before we get into this. It's a swirl of rumors going around. But the basic facts, the parents said they didn't get up. And when they did get up, they were in and out of sleep. But it's 10 o'clock. These children didn't have breakfast. They wasn't checked on, which is inconsistent with what the first dispatch said. Okay, the first dispatch said the kids were last seen at 8 o'clock that morning. They were checked on, and then they vanished after that. That's absolutely not true. The parents later said that they were asleep, they didn't get up, and the children were outside playing. Now, the whole thing about this is, how do we know the kids were out there playing? If the parents were asleep, how would they have any clue to what the children were doing? How do they know they just didn't walk out the door and walk off? Now, this goes into the huge clue that I'm talking about. And this seems like an odd thing for a kid to go outside and play with. Lily took her book bag, a white book bag with small strawberries on it. She took that out the house. Now, is there a chance that these parents didn't wake up to send Lily to school, and Lily attempted to walk to school and little Jack followed? Okay, now this would take them out the house. This would take them down to the road. And in that same day, there was calls to the police about a creeper in a vehicle riding around that same county. Okay, is it a way that maybe these kids could have been possibly abducted and the parents are not lying at all? They're just neglectful parents. I mean, there's still options on the table that are there that are, the parents are not killers, right? Now, a lot of people believe the parents are suspects, even me. Okay, but this clue is out there because Lily did leave with a book bag. Usually when kids go outside to play, they don't take school supplies with them. Now, I'm just guessing in that book bag was her stuff from school. So, and she didn't go to school the day before because of her cough. Did she go? I don't know if Lily took the bus or if they drove Lily to school or what the situation was. But I know it's odd for a kid to go outside and play with a book bag. Okay. Now, the Amber Alert. This is where things get crazy. You know, you got to show signs of abduction for there to be a Amber Alert. And that to me is a little bit on the crazy side. Okay. Here, even in the United States, I don't think you got to have, they issued Amber Alerts for Sebastian Rogers. Okay. Sebastian Rogers, there was no signs of him ever being kidnapped. The only difference was he was on the spectrum. So they considered him being extremely at risk, and they added him to the Amber Alert. Now, these kids are allegedly on the spectrum, but no Amber Alert for them. Now, people are saying maybe these parents were just super neglectful and that these kids played outside all the time by themselves. They lived in the middle of nowhere. They had a fenced in yard. Maybe the parents are lying and, they scripted part of their story because they know they were allowing these kids to go outside on their own. The dad said one thing, the stepdad, that really stuck out to me. He said he was always getting on to them about shutting that sliding glass door. Thank you for becoming a member there, country girl. And he was always getting on to them about shutting that sliding glass door. So it seems to me they knew these kids could open and shut that sliding glass door, but yet did nothing to stop them from getting in and out. So these kids could pretty much come in and out that trailer as they pleased. Okay. So when I listen to them talk, I'm like, yo, what they're saying is scripted. They had time to talk about what they were going to say, and their stories were really similar. The kids would talk to anybody. The kids would get into anybody's vehicle. So that the parents in the beginning were insinuating that these kids were abducted. Okay. But they didn't see who may have abducted these children. Now, I'm not saying that is the case. Okay. I'm still a little suspect of the parents that are going on right now, but there is this option that these kids could have got up. Lily could have tried to walk to school, and somebody has snatched the kids. Now, usually people will say, well, why did they snatch both kids? Well, if one kid sees you, you don't want that kid to go back and tell. So you grab both kids maybe, right? Or these parents have did something horrible. And this goes into all the rumors, right? All the rumors that are swirling around on the internet about there was a big party. Thank you for joining. A big party there night before, and there was a bunch of vehicles there, and they were having a party that these people may be doing hard drugs. The social services have been there. There's rumors that social services had stepped in prior to this, and we had domestic violence calls that were coming in to that home. So something was going on in that house, and something's been going on with this family, but we don't quite know what. Yeah, completely speculation right now, right? Completely speculation that, we're just going over some of the theories of some of the things that possibly could have happened to little Lily and to little Jack, because we know they're not in the woods, according to the police. And I'm going to play this video just to show you guys this. This is some new news that is coming out of Nova Scotia. And let me pull this video up for you. Let me add it to the stage and let's kick into this.
Search and rescue are back home after days of searching for two children missing on the mainland. The search for 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack was unsuccessful.
I think a lot of people went home last night with really heavy heart and maybe a feeling of defeat because that's all we want is successful search one way or the other.
22 volunteers from Cape Breton joined many others on the ground and in the air. Many have been involved in searches before, but when it involves children, Amanda Donovan says it hits different.
Oh, there's no worse situation. A lot of us are parents. A lot of us, just as humans, can't fathom that situation. And it really, the urgency and the response, I think, speaks to how affected everybody was by that.
Nova Scotia RCMP announced Wednesday it was scaling back the search for the two missing children after 6 days of scouring the heavily wooded areas surrounding their home in Lansdowne Station.
They are very thick. There's a lot of the hurricane damage from Fiona a couple of years ago, and we've had teams struggling to get through areas.
Amy Hansen is with Colchester Ground Search and Rescue. She says searchers have covered a lot of ground the last few days and feels the area has been thoroughly searched.
we are exhausting people, and we're starting to see more injuries coming back the last couple of days. And it's hard terrain.
Back in Sydney, Amanda Donovan can't help but think about the many volunteers that came together from many areas of the province with the same goal in mind.
I think that having such a big operation and seeing everybody work so cohesively together really speaks to the professional nature. Even though majority of us are volunteers, we are trained volunteers, and that's what we do best. So it was really nice to see all of that come together.
Kyle Moore, CBC News, Sydney.
Okay. I just, just the whole scaling back process. And right here, somebody says, I believe the whole Friday morning story was a lie. I do think there's inconsistencies in the story. I do not myself believe the Friday morning story. I do believe these parents are a little suspect in this case. Now, I'm not blaming the parents. I'm just saying there's odd behavior. We've seen this in other cases here in the United States, right? When, most mothers would never leave where their kids went missing from, right? They wouldn't leave. They'd be there looking. They'd be out searching. They'd be out doing news. Now, the mother of this young lady is saying that the police have told her not to do any media and not to be out searching. I find that so hard to believe, right? Because as a parent, if my kid goes missing, I don't give a damn what you say. I am going to go look for my child. Okay. I'm going to be out there looking day and night. I'm not going to be at the house just in case for some reason something happens and somebody comes back there. The mother left and got in a fight with the boyfriend. So they got something going on, or the stepdaddy, common law marriage, I guess is what people are saying in Canada, that's the stepdad. Okay. So we would just refer to him as the stepdad, but they got to fighting and their families got to fighting. That's true story. And then, of course, the police were called for
first on the Dolly train.
First on the Dolly train.
Emoji,
Thank
steam
you.
Locomotive emoji. All aboard.
You're riding the Blessed Express today, okay? You're rocking with the best when you own the Express. Thank you. And Dolly got to eat. Dolly got to eat, right? So these kids didn't just vanish. There's the theory of abduction, and I really think they need to change the rules on these Amber Alerts. Now, I ain't saying everything needs to be an Amber Alert, but when there's a kid is in extreme danger, 4, 6 years old, under the age of 10, and they go running off, I think all these cases are really high profile. And what does it hurt to send out an Amber Alert? It's just a little beep on your phone. Your phone vibrates, beeps, and it tells you the details of a case. That's it. I don't mind PJ
Locomotive emoji
on the Blessed Express today. On the Blessed Express. Thank you so much, guys. It don't hurt. Like, does it bother any of you guys to get Amber Alerts? It don't bother me. It don't disrupt my day. Okay, so I think they need to change the guidelines of what an Amber Alert actually is. Now, if you see a kidnapping, they instantly, or if there's a vehicle involved, they send out Amber Alerts for parental abductions. Parental abductions. That's when one parent grabs a kid and takes off. To me, they shouldn't do that. If a parent grabs a kid, most of the time, the kid's not going to be harmed. It's a custody dispute, right? But when these little kids go missing, 4 and 5 years old, if they didn't see nobody grab them, they don't send out the alert. Now, any kid that goes missing at 4 years old is in extreme danger from being ran over from traffic to wild animals, especially when you live in the woods, to kidnappers, to the monsters that are lurking out there. So we got to do something to band together to try to change what goes on with these Amber Alerts. In our state, we have the Cody Alert, which Cody Bigsby was a young boy that his father murdered. He didn't report him missing. And see, a lot of people believe this same thing there in Nova Scotia, that these kids were missing since Wednesday. And these parents had a couple days to get their story together to say, hey, they slipped out the back door. But this also would have gave these parents time to cover up anything they may or may have not done. Now, I've been saying that I believe by the end of the week, there will be an arrest in this case. But as of right now, as we speak, there is no arrest in this case. And none of the parents are in jail. Now, so far, everybody, from my understanding, has been cooperative. Hold on, I'm getting some messages in. Let me check this. This was an alert sent, just not called the Amber Alert. Okay, so there was alert sent out. Okay, let's see what this alert says. Missing vulnerable people, Lily and Jack Sullivan, Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia. Okay, so they did issue an alert. They were last seen May 1st in the Lansdowne Station, Pictou County. Lily has shoulder-length light brown hair with bangs. She might be wearing a pink sweater, pink pants, and pink boots. Jack was short brownish hair. He was wearing blue dinosaur boots. Anyone with information on these two's whereabouts of Lily and Jack is asked to call, and then the number, Crime Stoppers, and the tip line. Okay, so they did issue an alert. Okay, but is that a national alert? Is that a, here's my thing, and this is one thing I don't know. Maybe some of y'all guys can clear this up for me. When they issue an Amber Alert in Canada, do we get the Amber Alert here in the United States? And when they issue an Amber Alert here in the United States, do you guys get it in Canada? That I do not know. I have any clue. Does anybody in the chat know the answer to that question? Because I'm not sure. I've never got an Amber Alert on my phone that said missing kid in Canada. Never. Okay, and I'm sure there's kids that go missing in Canada. No, we don't get U.S. alerts. I think that needs to change. I think that needs to change too, because, like Toronto and all these places that are close to the border of America, you could easily hop the border, right? So, you live in Canada and you're not sure, Don? So some of these things with the Amber Alerts need to change, and at least an alert did go out. And I know that the Pictou County Police posted it on their Facebook and social medias, and of course the news started covering it. International news started covering it, but I think in these situations we need to be getting this information out super fast. Even if we just share the Amber Alerts for North America, okay, the whole continent of North America, I think would be better than, I guess that would probably be a lot of Amber Alerts, and people would probably get over it, their phone beeping and vibrating every few minutes. All aboard. Thank you, Susan.
All aboard.
Thank you. So we don't want to leave any rock unturned. We don't want to just look at it like there's no possibility that these kids could have been abducted, because there is that possibility. There's always that possibility, right? Even in the Sebastian Wainwright Rogers case here, a lot of people, believe that some people say he ran away, but we think he was abducted, right? That somebody forcefully took him out, or maybe a parent, or not a parent, but a lot of people think the parents were involved in the situation in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Also, the stepdad, a lot of people are blaming the stepdad. Some people are saying that the mother is scared of him. Now, I don't know, in the whole drug use situation, in the environment of the children, what kind of environment were the children in? Because there's rumors going around that social services were involved before the kids went missing. Now, we see that a lot, right? We see that a lot. We've seen that in the Summer Wells case, that the social services showed up, and next thing you know, the kid vanished. Social services showed up in the Sebastian Rogers case. Shortly after that, Sebastian Rogers vanished. Is this, we don't know what the environment of the inside of that double wide trailer looked like. What we do know is the outside of this trailer looked like a techno shot waiting to happen, right? There's debris, there's stuff all over the place. Not a very clean property. And it's hard for me to believe, right? Hard for me to believe that these two children slipped out that back door, played in that yard, and the mother and his brother that was right there facing them in their trailer, their Winnebago, did not see and did not hear anything. Something is wrong here in this story. That's why so many people are screaming foul play. Yeah. Welcome. So many people are screaming foul play because there's too many adults on this property for two little kids just to vanish, right? And just a whole neglectful attitude of the family. I mean, they're so worried, but they wasn't worried to get up and check. They wasn't worried about these kids having breakfast or having something to eat that morning. They wasn't worried about none of those things. But now all of a sudden, oh my God, I'm running through the woods. I'm running through water up here. Now I have seen posts to say that the stepdad is a good guy. Now, a lot of these posts have been anonymous, but they say they know this guy. He has other kids. He never hurt his other kids. He's a good person. Financially, they didn't seem like they were very wealthy people. Neither one of them working at the time. So basically, all they had to do for sure is take care of these kids, and that didn't really seem to happen. Okay, now the whole thing that stood out to me is Lily took the book bag. Okay, I'm just going to try to give them the benefit of the doubt on this one. Let's just say the parents are telling the truth. I know nobody thinks that. Okay, nobody thinks that. But we got to keep all doors open, right? I don't want people out there to stop looking for the kids thinking that the parents had something to do with it when there is the possibility. I mean, I think it's a slim possibility that the parents didn't. And kids do sometimes, especially when they're on the spectrum. 90% of kids on the spectrum will run away by the time they're 16 years old. Okay. They call it eloping. I knew nothing about this 2 years ago, but apparently it's really common with kids on the spectrum. Now, I was watching a video the other day where a mom had slept in and a young boy, I think he was 7 years old, he got his book bag and he started walking to school. School was 7 miles away. Okay. A guy seen the kid walking between his barns and approached him and said, "Hey man, what are you doing?" And he said, "Hey, my mom's mad at me. I got in trouble with my mom. I'm trying to walk to school." And he was a 7-year-old kid. This gentleman called the police. Okay. Called the police. And I think this is on Law and Crime. You can look it up. So he calls the police. The boy's sitting there, and the boy got in trouble for leaving his little brother on a trampoline the night before. So his mother made him go to bed with no dinner. Go to bed, no dinner. And then the next morning she overslept and told him to set his alarm clock and be at the bus stop to go to school. The little boy didn't set his alarm and he misses the bus. So he starts walking 7 miles to school at 7 years old. Okay. So like I said, a country guy sees him, calls the police, makes him sit on the porch with him until the police get there. And the little boy's telling the police that he got in trouble with his mama for leaving his brother on the trampoline, and he didn't set his alarm clock and he missed the bus. So he decided to walk. So of course the police load up the little boy. They take him home and they go in and go into the house because nobody answers the door. They knock, nobody answers. They go into the house. They make their way into the house, into the mother's bedroom and wake her up. Okay. She's asleep. And when she wakes up, she's mad at her son. What do you mean he missed the bus? What do you mean he didn't set his alarm clock? He's been in trouble. He left his 2-year-old little brother on a trampoline. And believe it or not, they arrest the mother for felony child neglect. Okay. For not waking up on time. Okay. Same situation. This is a mother here that did not wake up on time. Okay, let's just be honest. It's the same exact situation. The only difference is this little kid was found by somebody, and these two little kids wasn't. Okay, you saw that? Y'all saw that story about the kid on the little boy, and he was, I don't think he meant to get his mother in trouble, but he was definitely scared of his mother. He looked at the cop and said, "Can you just take me to school?" right? Because he didn't want to go home because he knew he was about to get his little ass whipped, right? So he wanted to go to school. He was just like, he didn't care that school was 7 miles away. He knew the punishment was going to be tough, and his mama done, got on to him. And, they said you didn't feed the kid. He didn't have dinner. He didn't have breakfast. You're sleeping. Your ass is going to jail. So they locked her up on felony charges, child neglect. And if anything needs to go on, I mean, I don't know the laws there in Canada, but to me, this is a form of child neglect. You're not taking care of your responsibilities. You can't just have a child and not watch them, not check on them, not feed them. Okay. And that's kind of what went down here. So, and then to get out there and show no emotion, right? Where you wasn't checking on your kids. You wasn't worried about the kids. You wasn't feeding your kids. You did not one of the parents shed one tear for these kids. Now, let's just say the kid did wander off and is out there. They're still criminally responsible for what has happened. Just like that lady that I just told the story about the kid on, walking to school 7 miles. You're responsible. You're supposed to take care of the welfare of that children. You're supposed to watch after that kid. At 7 years old, you should have took your kid to the bus stop. You should have been up. You should have been feeding your kid breakfast. You should have walked him to the bus stop, made sure he got on that bus. I did it every morning when Tiffany was a baby. Every morning. 6 o'clock, get up, get her ready. Bus came at 7:15. I was up 6 o'clock every morning. Okay. Stood at the bus stop with her to make sure she was on it. Stood at the bus stop when she got off the bus. These are things that parents, good parents, do, and in the beginning, I knew they were lying. I was like, we don't let them go outside by themselves. We're with them all the time. And I didn't believe none of that. I didn't believe none of that was going on. I was thinking, okay, these kids live in the middle of nowhere. They're going outside by themselves. They're playing, the yard's fenced in. And you would think for the most part, that would be safe, right? But it's not the case. You can't let your kids be out by themselves anywhere. I'm going to give this as an example. Fruitland, Idaho. Story of Michael Monkey Vaughn. Parents were home with him. Michael slipped out the house. Okay, they have 2 front doors. I've been to their house. They have a door that sits beside the garage in the front, and they have their very front door with the steps that go up to the door. The father steps into the garage to smoke a cigarette and order a pizza, and little Monkey Vaughn, slips out the door to find somebody to play with. He just wanted to play. Gets a little boy, awesome little boy, wanted somebody to play with, and he went outside looking for somebody to play with, and he was kidnapped by some monsters. First, a neighbor brought him back home. He was walking down the street, and the neighbor seen him and said, "Hey, you need to go back home." Took him back to his yard, but didn't watch him go in the house. Okay, so when the neighbor leaves, Michael Monkey Vaughn wanders off again. Okay, he wandered off twice. This time, the second time, he was found by not a good neighbor, but by some monsters. And some of you guys know who those monsters are, and hopefully they go to prison. So these people, and my point of this is this: if you go to Fruitland, Idaho, they live in a beautiful neighborhood. Okay, nice country cornfields, nice houses, nice people walking their dogs, people jogging around. They got a splash pad. It's really nice area. You would think all day long, hey, my kid could go out and play in the front yard and he should be okay, right? Wrong. There's no places left like that at all. Nowhere. You can't be anywhere. You can be 100 miles from civilization, and your kid does not need to be outside playing by themselves. These monsters, these people that hurt children, they're everywhere. They're your neighbors, right? People, there's sick people in this world, and you cannot leave your kids unattended, not even for a minute, not 30 seconds. You need to keep your eyes on your kid when you're in public situations at all times, airports, anywhere, you name it. Kids have been kidnapped from every location you can think of. Good neighborhoods, bad neighborhoods, malls, stores, places with thousands of people around. It don't matter. Kids have been kidnapped from those locations. So you can't let your kids run outside and play, even if you lived in a fenced-in yard. Predators will jump that fence. Predators will lure your kids out with candy, and my dog is missing with a box of bones. Will you help me look for my dog? Parks with parents. Kids have been kidnapped right beside their parents. So you got to be really vigilant when it comes to watching your kids. And when you're not, it's criminal child neglect. Now, myself, I believe the mother should be in jail. I believe the stepfather should be in jail. I believe that the people in the damn Winnebago in the back should be at the jail being questioned, right? Separate rooms, separate these people so they can't get their story together. The only problem was, Lily not going to school. That gave them time. The last time Lily was seen was on a Monday. The kids were seen on a Monday. So you got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and a little bit of Friday because they were reported missing at 10 a.m. on Friday. The mama just freaked out and called the authorities. It don't really add up, okay? Because, look, they also had a small child, Meadow, right? And that baby, at 15 months old, gets up early, right? You got to get up, get bottles, change diapers, things like that. Jack was in a pull-up, but nobody ever went that morning to check to see if Jack needed his diaper changed, okay? Or if he used it in his diaper. The kids apparently dressed themselves, or Lily dressed Jack. I don't know. And the outfits that they're describing, I'm assuming, are missing from the children's bedroom. Now, I don't know how much clothes these kids have, right? Like me, I got so many clothes. You would never know what I had on, because I have probably 100 shirts, 50 pairs of pants. It'd be hard to tell if I went missing what I was wearing. I don't know if that's the case with these kids. Even in Sebastian Rogers' situation, he had a lot of shirts. So they knew he was wearing a long sleeve shirt, but they didn't know exactly what was on the shirt. But, they're describing these kids as, Jack wearing brown pants and the purple boots, and Lily wearing all pink with pink boots. So I don't know. There's only two options at this point. Okay. Two options. The parents have something to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily, because these kids are not in those woods around that house, or these kids have been abducted. There was somebody in the area that day. The police think that the person don't have nothing to do with it, but I don't know. Just because there's one person creepy, there could be somebody else that's creepy. It's not impossible. I'm going to open up the phone lines. You guys let me know what you think. Are the parents responsible for the disappearance of these kids, or is there another person involved? All right, give me 1 second. I will pull up the phone lines. Let me get the number on the screen first so you guys know where you can call. Give me 1 second. I will open the lines right now. I'm leaning more towards the parents have some responsibility in the disappearance of these kids. And that would go into why the stepdad is so overly participating, like a Chris Watts, and the fake tears, right? The mother, lack of a mother. Dolly.
Doug from Tennessee. Boy, I'm good, ain't I?
What's up, Doug? You the first caller.
I get it every time I call, brother.
You got me on speed dial. That's why. You don't got to wait for the number to come up.
Hey, you know what? If I come up missing, you say I got a funny looking hat on and a pair of overalls.
Overalls. Yeah, I know what you be wearing. Doug, you be wearing overalls and a big top hat.
A wild looking hat, some kind of wild looking hat. Yeah. I got one for every day.
Oh, you got a hat for every day of the week?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're 7 foot tall. Ain't nobody kidnapping a 7 foot tall Bigfoot. There, Doug.
I know it. I think they got something to do with it. Hey, they could have come from that party, man.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, that they let these people around their children, and one of them people at that party could have been a predator.
Not just that. You got a party going on, and these kids get a hold of these drugs nowadays, and they can kill them.
Yes, that's an option too. And then they covered it up that the kids got into the stash.
I gotta get rid of these kids, because damn, man, GPS is on us already.
Think it's candy and put it in their mouth, and next thing you know, they dead. It happens.
You got that right, because that stuff looks like candy now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they could have got a hold of some of that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't take but one for them kids, and they'd be gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I hope and pray if they find somebody that did it, they just let them rot.
Yeah, if they find somebody, right now it kind of leans towards the family that they have some responsibility in this. You know, there's always the case that somebody could abducted these kids. I mean, that is a possibility, but I didn't think
you got to look at all them people that was at that party too.
Yeah, and somebody could have seen them kids and be like, I want those kids.
And when they left the party, mom and daddy was passed out. They took the kids with them.
Yeah, and how did the mom and dad know that somebody didn't come through that back door and grab the kids?
Yeah.
If they were asleep and they didn't hear it, how did they know somebody didn't come into their home?
And it was something like somebody at that party, you know.
Yeah.
You don't know who you got when you got people coming to a party.
Absolutely. And I mean, you look at like what is it, BTK? He would go into people's house and wait on them to come home. You know, he would be in the house. Sometimes he didn't even kill the people. Sometimes he would just stalk them and then leave. But he'd be in their closets. He'd be under their bed, all kinds of shit.
There's some mean people in this world, brother. I'm telling you. They would look at some of these drug heads. I'm not being a smart ass. Would look at them kids and say money.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's possible. Money. Some people believe they may have sold these kids because of their financial situation.
I'm talking about them people like at the parties.
Yeah.
Look at them two children and say, that's the money, man. Let's take them with us as we go.
Yeah. I mean,
and they happen to know somebody who will buy them.
I like to keep every option open, you know, because I don't, you know, it's like, because we may be wrong. I mean, I know most of us all believe that the parents have something to do with it, but there is a small chance that we could be wrong.
Well, like you said, it's neglect.
Yeah, it's definitely neglect. There's no doubt. They should be. See, that's what police need to do. When these kids are neglected, they need to go ahead and arrest them and hold them with no bond so they can separate them and talk to them. They don't have to go look for them. They don't have to ask them to come in. They're there. You ain't going nowhere, right? Because you know, here, felony child neglect carries 5 to 10 years in prison. 5 to 10 years for what they done here in my state. You do that here, your ass going to prison.
You got that right.
So if
they pop them in Tennessee, some of them in Tennessee for neglect.
Yeah, like even in the situation of Cody Bixby that happened here, when they were interviewing his dad, they said, well, he's volunteering to come down to the station. I said, he ain't volunteering. And I said, guarantee you this, when he gets there, he's not leaving. And he never did. He didn't volunteer and he didn't leave, and they violated his rights, which he deserves because he killed his kid. You got no rights when you do some shit like that. That's how I look at it. Was I mad at the state of Virginia for violating this man's rights? Hell no. But you don't got no rights at this point. You're a child killer. Oh, you know?
Yeah. And the ones with your rights. Pedophiles and shit like that. If they catch you one time doing that, you should never get out. Look at all these people that's out.
Yeah, I mean they give these people too many rights. You know, too many.
I'm not preaching it. I'm not preaching it. This needs to go on. If you're not 18-year-old or 21, you should not be allowed on the internet whatsoever at all.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's the situation with Jack and Lily, internet stuff, but these teenage kids, definitely, because predators are all online and trying to hook up with kids. That's for sure.
It's wild, man. These people are crazy.
Yeah.
You mean tell me you neglect these kids and you won't get your ass up out of bed to see what them kids are doing is wrong.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Doug, I appreciate you calling in.
All right, man. Peace.
All right, peace. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Hey.
It's Donna calling from PA.
Hey, Donna. You got
Anyway.
Hey, Donna, you got to turn me down in the background or we're going to have a bad echo.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to let you know that the CNY family had posted information about a neighbor that was busted a week ago for trafficking, drugs.
Okay. I thought you were going to say kids. I was like, oh, this ain't good.
No, they were trafficking, and they were they had drugs and just a bunch of stuff that they were arrested for. And apparently they don't live too far from where the kids were. So and according to what she said, there was a connection between them and the family with Jack and Lily's mom.
Yeah.
And stepfather.
There's a lot of people online alleging drug abuse, but you never know online because, you know, we got trolls and people say anything. So I take everything I see online with a grain of salt, but there's a lot of people saying it. So they don't always make it true because I've seen lots of people tell lies. But right now, something's happening. Something's going on. Something don't make sense, and it all leads to that house.
Yeah, apparently the CNY family, she researched it and she saw the arrest record of neighbors, and she connected them with people that were on the Facebook, and I believe she said she connected it with somebody on the mother's Facebook as well before the mother deleted her account.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just wanted to make you aware of that.
Okay.
If, you know, I don't know the whole facts on it, but if you listen to it, it's the CNY family.
Okay.
Missing Lily and Jack Sullivan. She posted it 1 hour ago. So
okay, I will check that out for sure. Hey, I appreciate you calling.
Okay, God bless you, Dolly, for what you do.
All right, you have a good one. I don't know what was going on in the background or where she was at, but there was a lot of noise. One, it sounded like dogs, or I'm not quite sure what that was. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly, it's Army Mom.
Hey,
how are you?
I'm doing pretty good this morning. Not too bad.
Well, did you hear where he stated that his story stayed consistent? So that means he was telling the truth. If his story had changed, it means he was lying.
I mean, I don't think that's always the case. You know, you could have been lying from the start and continue to lie, and it's always the same lie.
But didn't he also say that she peeked her head in that morning a couple of times when he saw her?
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear them seeing the children at all that morning. None. Hey, Nova Scotia girl, thanks for joining. I didn't hear that at all. I mean, on the dispatch call that came in that Plunder put out, it said that they had seen the kids at 8 a.m., that they had checked on the kids, and the kids went missing after 8 a.m. while they fell back asleep. But
when you have two kids, one in a diaper and the
hold
other
on one
in
second.
pull-ups, you get your butt out of bed and change/feed them.
Absolutely, KT. Okay, I just had to address that super chat. Absolutely, you get up and change their diapers, and you get up and check on your kids. If you don't, it's child neglect. Yeah, I never heard them say they checked on the kids. Not them. Now, the dispatch call said they did, but far as coming out their mouth, they said they woke up at 10, they were in and out of consciousness, and the kids were gone when they got up. So how did you check on them? You didn't. The kids didn't have breakfast or anything. You know what?
No.
What? How come they didn't go check to see if Lily was okay to go to school or not?
Especially if she was sick, they should have been up first thing checking on her.
Absolutely, that's more reason to check on her. How you know she ain't laying in there dead?
Exactly.
You know,
because I already knew these kids were gone. Something happened to them a few days before.
I believe that to be the case too. I don't think they went missing Friday. I think they went missing Wednesday. And I don't know if this party that people are alleging has anything to do with it. You know, there was people reporting a creepy man in a vehicle driving around that area. I mean, I don't rule out any possibilities, but still my number one suspects are this mother and this stepdad of this child, especially seeing that the baby's not missing. You know, it's just them two kids that wasn't his that are missing. It makes me think that he didn't want those kids because them kids were hard to handle. And we know they were hard to handle. We seen the video of Lily screaming to the top of her lungs. That would be hard to handle.
Yeah, and did you see how he was just glaring at her like he wanted to say something or do something, but maybe
her family,
people were around?
Yeah, too many people around. I was thinking the exact same thing. Her family was around. The mother's family was around. He didn't want to say nothing because we already see that the family don't like him, right? That's why they're up there trying to fight with him, is they don't like him. So the families don't get along, and there has to be a reason they don't, because that her mom probably thinks that dude's trash and don't want her daughter with him anyway.
Yeah,
you know,
but they were quick to jump on him.
Yeah,
very quick.
Yeah, like I'd have been like, hey, bro, like you dating my daughter, you at least need to clean your yard. My grandkids could get hurt out here, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't be thinking they get kidnapped or disappear, but I'd be thinking they're going to step on a nail. They're going to end up getting something cut open. I'm going to be at the hospital watching these little kids get stitched up. Like, you know, at least clean up the environment a little bit.
Thankful for the volunteers and search and rescue who put their heart and souls in these situations, finding these babies.
Thank you, Abby. Yeah, so you got to make an environment that's safe for children. I mean, and I don't know if that environment was safe. The outside definitely wasn't safe. I don't know about the inside.
No.
I never seen the inside of their home. In that video, I'm not sure if that was their home or what, but it looked good, you know, decent in that video. But I mean, I don't know the situation. Sometimes you could be perfectly clean and your household be great, and then you get on drugs and then everything just falls apart.
Yeah, like that Winnebago. I mean, for a roof, they just had a tarp stayed on top of it, so there's no telling what that looks like.
I mean, I can understand the tarps if they're in there and they get a leak and they're like, okay, we need to fix this. Let me throw a tarp over it until I can get a chance to fix it. I can understand the tarps. What I can't understand is how they were so close to where them kids were out there screaming, hollering, and playing and didn't see it.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with them being poor whatsoever. I don't want people to think that. I have a problem with them being neglectful. There's a lot of poor people. I've been broke. You know what I'm saying? I can remember times I didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. So it's not that. It's just, even when I didn't have much, I still took care of my kid, you know?
Yeah.
So to see this, like, you know, neither one of them working, neither one of them watching the kids, neither one of them checking on the kids, neither one of them trying to get up to feed the kids in the morning. To me, it's neglectful. They're shitty parents. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. From what we're seeing. Now, I don't know what we're not seeing. They could be great parents, but for what we see, it's indications of being a shitty parent.
And the mother and the brother's yard looked neat and nice, nothing in the yard at all. And even you said the porch looked brand new they had on the Winnebago, but that backyard where those kids were staying was in horrible shape.
Yeah, they did.
They
did have a new porch on the Winnebago, right? The porch costs more than the Winnebago, right? So I don't know. But look, Army Mom, I appreciate you calling.
Yeah, and you have a good, safe trip.
All right, thank you. Peace.
All right, peace.
Yes, we are hitting the road tomorrow, heading to Boston. I will be still giving updates from the road on what's going on in all these situations. I just will not be in the studio. So I want to say this real quick. I'm going to need a favor from you guys. And this is important because this is what spreads awareness. This is what gets people all over the country and the world knowing about this case. I'm going to need you guys to do me a favor and hit the like button. It's free. It won't cost you anything. You just grab your mouse and you hover over it and you click it. Or if you're on your phone, you just hit it with your little finger. You just tap it. And then once you do that, and don't cheat because I'm looking at you, right? I see you. I see you. Hit the like. And then I want you to shout out in the chat room where you're watching from. We got almost 2,000 people in the room, and we don't even got 700 likes on the video. Okay. That's not spreading a lot of awareness right there. That is not enough for the algorithm to pick up the videos. So we're going to need you guys to do us a solid and hit the like button. Okay. You ain't got to donate $1 million to me. You ain't got to give me a penny, but absolutely hit that like button. And if you're super cool, right? Now, only if you're super cool. Now, if you a lame ass person, don't do this. I only want super cool people sharing my face. Share it on one of your social medias. Okay. Nova Scotia's here with us. Iowa, Alabama. You were number 600. Thank you. Thank you so much. Left My DNA. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Tampa, Florida. Kentucky. Ohio. Washington State. North Carolina. Michigan. Grand Rapids. Georgia's in the house with us. My home state. London. Australia's here. North Carolina. Tennessee. We should have a lot of Tennessee. A lot of Nova Scotia with us. Nebraska. Alberta, Canada's with us. And this is what this is about, guys. Spreading awareness. More North Carolina. We want these children known about on every state, every city, every county in the world. Okay. Missouri, Texas, Chicago, more Texas. Pennsylvania's in the house. Sorry, I watch on TV, so I don't talk much. LOL. Florida girl, that's perfectly fine. We got New Zealand with us, South Carolina, North Carolina, Ohio, heading to West Point. Okay, South Africa's here with us. Colorado's here with us. Texas is here. So we want to spread this as far as we can. And the best way to do that is just like the video. So YouTube picks it up and shares it with other people that are interested in this type of content. Okay. Washington, Long Beach, Washington, Ohio, Midlothian, Virginia, Texas. Got a lot of Texas today. Dallas is with us. Okay. Good to see everybody in Colorado. So we're reaching a lot of the United States. Ireland's with us, hitting a lot of countries around the world. North Carolina. Thank you guys. Thank you. Claudia, showing a little love for Dolly.
Show a little love for Dolly Europe.
Europe is in the house with us. So listen, if somebody grabbed these kids, you'd be surprised, you know, if you've watched like The Sound of Freedom, how fast these traffickers can grab one kid from one location. They grab you in Canada. Next thing you know, you're in Europe. So it's important that we get these messages out here. We get Jack and Lily's face out here. We let people know the story, let people know the situation. And if you see something out there, guys, definitely say something. You hear anything right now? Definitely share that with the authorities, even if it's something small. If it sounds credible or you think there may be some truth to it, let the authorities know. Let them weed through that stuff and figure it out. These kids did not just vanish. Okay. Their mom and dad is not David Copperfield. They're not Chris Angel, David Blaine, none of that. Right. So everybody makes mistakes. Every criminal, right? You hear them say criminals are not smart. Thank all you guys for joining up. We're getting closer and closer to hitting 64,000. So I can't make it to that number without you. Karen, thank you for becoming a member. That's a great way to support the channel and bring you guys future content, is to become a member of the channel. We got a lot of good stuff this year coming for you. Okay. A lot of good stuff. Now let me open back up the phone line because I closed them so I could give that rant and talk you guys into liking the video like a 1980s used car salesman. Okay. Low mileage, like the video, guaranteed to get you there, guaranteed to get you there, right? Sometimes I feel that's what I feel like, a used car salesman. I'm like the video, right? Sub up the channel, right? Low mileage. Only got one dent, and that's in my head, okay? Dolly. Hello.
Dolly.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm at work. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
It's Sin from Texas.
Hey, Sin from Texas. What's going on with you today, brother?
Hey, not a lot, man. I'm just sitting here listening to you. I was going to let you know, here in Texas, I know we're a big state. But I only get Amber Alerts for Texas. I don't get them anywhere else.
Oh, you only get them for the state that you're in?
Yeah.
No, I've gotten me here in Virginia. I've gotten them for other states.
Yeah, here in Texas, I have never got one outside of Texas.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I don't know if it's because it's so big. I mean, I've got them from all the way down in Houston, San Antonio, and I live about 6 hours from there, but I ain't got them from outside of Texas.
Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, I've gotten them from other states here. But Virginia's not the biggest state. I mean, we're wide, but we're not very tall. You know what I'm saying? So I've gotten them from North Carolina. I've gotten them from Kentucky. I've gotten them from Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
See, I'm 2 hours from Oklahoma and 2.5 hours from Louisiana, but I've never got them from there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And
we need to adjust.
From Houston.
We need to adjust how these Amber Alerts are going out anyway. I mean, anytime there needs to be something higher than the Amber Alert. There needs to be like just an endangered child alert, especially if you're under the age of, like I said, 10. If you're under the age of 10, you're in extreme danger no matter what. You know, like you could be hit by a car, just different things. I think over 10, yeah, we may not, save it for a different type of alert. Even here in Virginia, we have the silver alert. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, we get them here in Texas, but they're normally for older people.
Yeah, old people. The silver alert is for the older people. We get those that go out a lot because we got a lot of elderly old folks homes and things like that around where I'm at. So sometimes dementia and things like that, these people get a little whacked out and they kind of wander off, and usually they're found. But I get those alerts a lot. And now we have the Cody Alert, which is a new one for Virginia, which is just an endangered child, any endangered child. Don't matter the age.
We should have something. I think we should have something like that in Texas, but not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, the Cody Alert's new here. Like Juan Sebastian, the young boy that fell into the ice and died, that me and PJ went out and covered and went searching for. That's how we found out that he was missing, and we got a Cody Alert. And then we were like, okay, pack up the truck, let's go look for him. Grab the drones, and tragically he lost his life. But he was, I think, 16 or 17, but they still sent the alert out for him. And that is no, he was 13. He was 13. I cover so many cases, they kind of start to blur together a little bit.
My oldest is 13 right now, and we got a lot of those pedophiles that live around us, so I have a hard time letting him ride his bike.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Around the neighborhood.
Yeah, especially any city, like I live in the city, so there's a ton of them. So we just got to stay vigilant. And what do you think about the situation there in Nova Scotia with these kids? Do you think the parents are involved in this, or you think it's a kidnapping?
I think I hate to place judgment, but I think the parents are definitely guilty of neglect.
But I agree with that 100%. If they did it or not, I don't know. But being neglectful right now, the signs point to they are neglectful parents at that day.
That's
at 100%.
Least.
Yeah.
Hell, I got a 13-year-old and a 11-year-old that won't let me sleep on the weekends past 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I get up and check on my dogs when I get up. I do. I go in there and give Wrangler a hug and pet Lolo. That's the first thing I do when I wake up, is I go check on my dogs, because they usually sleep on the couch, right? So I go out there and I hug on them and pet them and make sure they got food and water. That's the first thing I do every morning. I don't see how people don't check on their kids. If you ain't hearing your kids, then that's something wrong. When your kids go quiet, kids usually ain't quiet. So
they're never quiet. That's definitely a sign that something's going on.
Yes. All right.
Within 2 minutes, something's going on.
Yeah, you don't hear nothing. It's time to definitely go check. All right, you be good then. Talk to you later, brother.
You too, Donnie. All right, peace.
Yeah, when they didn't hear nothing, or they wasn't hearing nothing, they definitely should have went and go check. Listen, I ain't saying that the families are always neglectful. I'm just saying that day they were being neglectful. They should have been out there. They should have been checking on their kids. And like I said, it don't add up because there was 2 more adults right outside that sliding glass door in a trailer. Now, how thick do you think the walls are in a Winnebago? Right? And they're paper thin. You know, I have a camper, right? And we use it when we travel. Lately we ain't been using it because we also have a truck that has a camper on it, like a truck bed camper. And usually when we're traveling, we're in that. But our first one was a tow behind, and you can hear everything. If you outside talking, you can hear it. Did they find a backpack? I need an update. Captain Kurt reacts, no, they haven't found anything. Okay. The backpack was a clue because he said, you know, she left with a backpack. Lily didn't go to school that day. So my question was, did Lily get up that morning and decide that she was going to walk to school? Because usually if you got a book bag, what's it going to have in it? It's going to have your school supplies in it. So why would the children take their school supplies outside that trailer to go play? Right? They wouldn't do that. So, and then of course, you know, you outside that trailer in a Winnebago, right behind where the door they went out is the grandmother. Well, not technically the grandmother, but the boyfriend's stepdad's mother and his brother are directly behind the house. How did they not hear these kids? How did they not see these kids? Right? They said they were in the yard playing. How did they know they were in the yard playing? Did the woman outside, the mother of the stepdad, see them? Or did the brother see the kids playing in the yard and didn't say nothing? And then once they went missing, they were like, oh yeah, well, the kids were playing in the yard. Yeah. So there's the possibility that this kid got up and could have possibly tried to walk to school. Now, I don't know if that's the case, but why would Lily take a book bag? Why would they get up and get dressed? When I was a kid, I'm from the South, I would go outside and play barefooted. Okay. I still to this day, I walk around the yard here where I'm at, no shirt on, barefoot, you know, country boy status, right? I just the way I that's the way I grew up. I ain't got shoes on right now. Okay. Right. This minute, I might go missing, right? That's one thing in true crime. You always want to keep, we've learned, you always want to keep your shoes on, right? You take your shoes off, you may go missing. Aliens will abduct you. Kidnappers will get you. You might just wander off for some reason. You always keep your shoes on. So these kids got dressed. It looked like she grabbed her school stuff. And I was thinking, well, did she try to go to school and, you know, start walking and somebody grab her? Because there was a report of a strange vehicle in the area, you know, that didn't make sense, right? Just creeping on kids apparently is how the call came in, which is weird, you know. And then just the parents' odd behavior. So the latest updated is, of course, they scaled back the search. They believe that the chances of the kids being alive is very slim. Okay, which is sad. Nobody wants to see the kids are awesomely cool kids. You know, anybody be lucky is to have such awesome, beautiful kids, right? And if they didn't want their kids, somebody out there would have, you know, give your children up for adoption. If you can't take care of your kids, there's a lot of loving, caring people in this world that can't have children, or that have children and would add one to their collection, right? I've never had a son. You know, if you was to come to me and be like, hey, I'm about to throw this kid in the river, I'd be like, nah, no, you ain't. Get that kid to me. I'll take care of that kid. I'll make sure that kid has a good home. It'd be Dolly Jr. at that point. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't see anybody hurting their kid. But people are so selfish that they're like, well, I don't want you. I don't want nobody else to have you. And then they hurt their children and they do something bad. Like Leilani Simon in Georgia. She could have easily gave Quentin Simon to somebody to take care of him, right? Somebody would have loved to have that little boy. Like I said, I've never had a son. I'd have took Quentin Simon. You know what I'm saying? If she would have said, Dolly, I'm going to throw this kid in the trash, or you can have him, I'd be like, well, give him to me. You know, and there's a lot of families like that would take a kid in before they would see a kid get hurt. A lot, right? So these people that are hurting their kids, you don't have to hurt your kid. There's somebody else that'll love your kid for you, right? And give your kid a good life. not only a good life, but may give them a better life with way more opportunities, way more, So it's just like, I can never wrap my mind around how people can hurt their children. Now, let me open the phone lines back up. It just amazes me. It just absolutely amazes me. They have safe havens now where you can take your kids and you can drop them off and they won't even charge you. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Hey.
It's me, Jen from Salt Lake.
Hey, Jen.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Not too bad.
Well, that's good then. I was going to say that at the beginning of this guy's interview, he had a big scratch
on his face.
Yes.
I seen that.
And that came from, I do believe, in my opinion, one of these children.
Fighting?
Yes.
Maybe.
They were, yeah.
My biggest thing with the stepfather is the fake tears. My biggest thing with the mother is the lack of emotion. Them are the red flags that are coming off to me. It's that grabbing your eyes and acting like you're crying thing. It's like, I don't know. Like, I don't see no real tears. If I seen some real tears, then I'd feel really bad for them. Like, I'd feel like, but some people can make themselves really cry too. But most people don't. They don't. They just can't.
Yeah, it's always in the eyes. It's a dead giveaway.
Mm-hmm. The windows to your soul.
That's right. That's right. And that's when whatever he did with those kids, if they got cadaver dogs, they would find them right by that house.
I don't know. I think if you're going to do something horrible like that, you're going to get them away from that area. Because you would think if I leave them here, they're going to search here. I'm going to get caught. And most criminals don't want to get caught, so they probably went. Well, I would say they were in 20 miles from that house.
Most meth heads are pretty stupid.
Yeah, I don't think any criminal's smart. If you're smart, you're not going to be a criminal. You're going to do something good with your life. Most smart people.
Well, even if you're a criminal, you put, meth on top of that.
Yeah.
And you're even, you're dumb and dumber. And I don't think he'd go that far, to, hide these kids in case somebody woke up.
Yeah.
Because like you said too, and I saw that girl's a screamer.
Yeah.
So, he would definitely do something very quickly.
And I think the screaming has something to do with like sensory and like when she's not being paid attention to and she's trying to get everybody's attention, her communication skills or let me scream until people pay me attention. And that's kind of how she appeared at the birthday party. It's like screaming to the top of her lungs. So
yeah,
I mean, I just don't know. How did you not hear these kids?
I would still take cadaver.
Yeah, absolutely.
They search that property very, very well.
Yes,
and especially that culvert down below.
The vehicles is where
whatever
they need to put the cadaver dogs in them vehicles and see if anything that has been unalived has been in those vehicles.
That too.
So,
but there's a culvert or something that's like, it looks like that trailer is hanging off of the culvert or something.
Yes. So there's underground pipes. Hey, let me let you go. We got a call coming in from Nova Scotia.
Okay. You have a wonderful day.
All right.
Thank
you. Dolly.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, who's this? Where are you calling from?
Linda from Prince Edward Island again today. How you doing?
Okay, hey Linda, I'm doing all right, not too bad. Just trying to figure out the mystery of where these kids are at.
Same here. I tell you, I think half the world is invested in this one.
Yes, and
I keep thinking, like, if it was me in the country like that, I've looked at the pictures And if I had two little kids that suddenly weren't in the house, the first thing I would do would not be jump in the, I'm not swearing, but I want to swear.
Mm-hmm. It's
I
understandable.
wouldn't jump in the car and go driving down all these roads. I'd be running on my feet first thing, not the car. I'd be running around yelling for them, right? But he jumped in the car and started driving around, like driving down all these dirt roads. That was what he said.
Yeah.
The first thing he did. That's pretty suspicious to me.
I think so too. I think I just don't like the fake crying. That's one thing that makes me think he's getting, not that he is, right? Because I could be wrong, but it just appears that it's fake. It's fake. And it looks like what him and the woman are saying is scripted. They're so close to saying the exact same things that it don't make sense unless 100%. They practiced it. Like if you got me and PJ in a room or separated us and you asked us the same question, we would give you two different answers. We're two different people.
Yeah. And think about it. That body language, look, you put your hands to your eyes the way he does. That's the posture of somebody deep thinking. What should I say here? That's not the posturing of somebody who's crying, right? Because if you're crying, you don't shove your fist into your eyeball. Oh my God,
I get Chris Watts vibes from him. You know,
I
just get Chris Watts vibes from him. And Chris Watts was quick to jump on the media too, and like try to overly, I don't have nothing to do with it, I'm doing my best. And then, you know, of course, he's the one that done it.
9 times out of 10, the perpetrator, when there's a crime committed, involves themselves in the search or like there's some kind of right.
Absolutely. Criminals usually return to the scene of the crime too, you know, so they try to be over, they want to convince you that they didn't do it.
That's right.
Well,
and distract. Oh, no Amber Alert was done. Like the way they're blaming law enforcement just really kind of makes me mad too. But what night was the party?
Now, all I know is that's, you know, rumors right now that there's this party that went down. I don't know for factual facts that there was ever a party, but the rumor is, and it's circulating through all these groups because, you know, I've been following these groups. Just, you know, I take it with a grain of sand, but, you know, sometimes there's some truth that comes out in some of this stuff.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of people are saying there was a type of gathering at that home right before this, and there may be some truth to that. I don't know, but if you allow strangers into your home, you never know who's showing up.
Sick. Yeah, right. And if the kids are sick, I'm going to just try and filter that out. That was a rumor and it may not be true because I get kind of hung up on things like that. But the other thing I was thinking was I don't imagine Lily be packing her backpack to go to school. She took a bus, right? Didn't she take a bus?
I'm not for sure. That's one thing I don't know if she took a bus or they drove her to school. Because when I thought, well, she woke, you know, because I had just recently watched a story similar to that of a kid getting up, grabbing his book bag, walking out the door, missing the bus, and he walked to school 7 miles. Or he tried to. He didn't make it. He got picked up by the police, and his mama went to jail for child neglect. But I was thinking, okay, well, she grabbed her book bag. Maybe this kid was trying to get to school. She took the bus, is my producer saying. She took the bus.
Yeah, right. So that's what I thought. Okay, that can't be it. But I don't know. I'm so torn between he did something, he sold them, or
you know, you see their financial situation's not good. So I mean, it's hard to believe that people can sell children, but it does happen. It does happen.
Oh yeah. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry on this planet. It's disgusting.
I know.
It's just disgusting.
They end up on like Epstein Island and shit. It's weird.
Yep. It's really insane what some people are capable of doing to children, and it just.
And they have all these codes and these symbols that they communicate with, so they know when somebody else is a freak like them, you know. So.
Do you remember when Tyler Clementi committed suicide? Do you remember that?
No, I don't. I'm not for sure who that even is.
Okay, it was way back. It's 15 years ago, and I'm just going to dip into that for a second because just what you're talking about, it was on Facebook. The young man committed suicide. He was gay. He had been bullied really bad at school, and he committed suicide. The family had put up a memorial page, and I ended up being involved sending URL to law enforcement because there was actual crime scene photographs being posted.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it was I probably shouldn't even think about it because I saw things that nobody should ever see.
Yeah, criminals usually follow the news and what people are talking about. We know this was the case in like Brian Kohlberger and stuff like that in the Idaho 4 murders of criminals being interested in their crimes. Even Ted Bundy did. He would follow his crimes.
Right? And that just did even on even on your page here, which by the way, I think you do a really good job. But every now and then somebody will pop up laughing or cracking a joke or whatever, and it triggers me bad. I keep
we've already had somebody call in that was wanted for murder, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, actually wanted for murder, killed somebody, was on the run, and called this channel. As a matter of fact, somebody called and said, look, this dude is wanted for murder. I know this guy, and he is wanted for murder, and he's wanted for murder in my town. And they sent me the articles of and he gave his real name.
Oh my God.
And was wanted for murder.
Oh my God. Huh?
Yeah. You never know who's going to call in, you know?
If whoever hurt them kids is listening in, call Dolly and give yourself up.
There you go. There you go. Hey, I appreciate you calling.
Thanks so much.
All right. Peace. Yeah, you never, when you do a call-in show, you never know who's going to call. So when people say crazy things, I'm always like, don't kill me. Don't stalk me. You know, don't get me. Take your anger out on somebody else. Because you just don't know who's watching. You know, this is open that right now there's 1,600 people in here from all around the world. There could be somebody wearing somebody's skin right now watching Dolly, right? Wearing their skin, leather face, sharpening up their chainsaw. Listen, I don't want to be on your hit list, or I don't want to be the next person you're wearing or anything like that. But you just, you know, I communicate with a lot of strangers. Okay. Yeah. And you got to be careful what you say, because you may make one of these strangers mad. Thank you, Ro, for joining up. You make the wrong person mad. Next thing you know, you're in the chili. Okay. I don't want nobody putting me in the chili.
These kids, may be more news come out soon.
Yes, Claudia. And I'm thinking that it's unraveling. The parents are fighting. The police know that the kids are not in the woods. It's fully at this point a criminal investigation. Okay. And I believe an arrest is coming this week. My psychic spidey sense is saying by Friday, okay, Friday, we will have an arrest in this case. So, hold on one second, guys. Okay, I'm back. I knew I heard something. My dogs were in the kennel, and it's raining, so I had to run out real fast and let them in the house. So their kennel has a roof on it, though, so it wasn't raining on the dogs. But usually when it's raining outside, I bring them in. They go in their kennel for a little while each day, so they could be outside and get some fresh air, so they're not in the house. Usually, if I'm outside, they're not in the kennels, but I figure I let them out a little bit today because it was cool outside. So I heard something. I was like, what's that noise? But it's raining pretty hard here. So I got time to take a couple more calls. Let me open the phone lines back up. You guys tell me what you think. Are the parents responsible for this, or is it Dolly?
Hey, Dolly.
Hey.
Hey, it's Rita from Dexter.
Hey, Rita.
Hey, I sent PJ some screenshots. I don't know if she's there with you now or if she's working, but
just look at them later. I don't want to talk about them on the air. It's just some stuff I've been seeing in that chat. But I did want to call and let you know the admin came into that chat and they're going to be closing it. He said that the family keeps reporting the group.
The big one? Is it the big group?
Yeah, the big one.
Okay.
So, and I sent PJ those screenshots too.
What did they
huge
think?
Fight in that chat.
What do they think is going to happen? All it's going to do is cause people to open up other groups.
Yeah. Well, they said the group is getting reported like every 2 minutes by his family members. So that's just what they said. But
you can't stop
there was something I sent her before that.
You can't stop people from talking. We live,
That's what I said.
Maybe that works in Canada, but in America, we got freedom of speech. People can say whatever they want to say. It's opinions. Now if they're stating as it's a fact, and that's defamation. But that's the reason I tell everybody, hey guys, all this is satire. It's just my opinion. Don't take nothing as fact.
That's right.
Because that's the difference in defamation.
Yep. Well, PJ sent me back message. I don't know if we should be talking about, this, but I was explaining
all
to
right,
her.
Hold on.
What I sent her.
Producer's calling right now.
Producer, she calling now. Okay.
Hello? Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Bye. Okay. I understand a little bit more now about what's going on.
Yeah.
They're saying things,
things
in there that are false and not true. And
and it's causing big chaos. So that's why they're wanting to shut it down.
Who would post something like that? Who would get up here on the internet and just lie saying they found these kids when they haven't found the kids and things like that? That is horrible. Like, karma will come back and bite those people in the ass that are reporting fake information just for clicks, clicks on the internet. It ain't even views. It's just, getting in these forums and posting things that are not true to cause chaos.
Yep. And what these people don't understand when they do that is they hurt the investigation. And police officers have came forward in many cases and said, when they start these groups and they start doing that and just telling blatant lies that they know are not true, then what that does is that hurts the investigation and it stops them from looking at the resources that they need to be looking at to find these kids.
Yeah. Well, most people now, like, we have cyber crimes units, and usually cyber crimes deal with people that are doing things like this, creating chaos. And another thing I thought was good is some cases the police come out and they dispel rumors. Like, they'll come out daily and say, well, these rumors that are going around are not true. I think there needs to be more of that in cases, because we live in an internet era where everybody's connected now and everybody's communicating so fast that the police do need to clear up some of these rumors. And then, then it stops a lot of the speculation. Even here, we speculate on a lot of things. It would stop a lot of that. We wouldn't have to question these things. We would already know the answers to these things. So I think police need to take the responsibility and realize we don't live in 1980 anymore. We live in 2025. You have to be internet savvy and have a representative from your police maybe be in these groups and address rumors that are being spun that can easily spin out of control.
Yeah. And I didn't know if there's one other thing that I don't know if you heard about this, but Betty's charges were all dropped.
Oh yeah. I don't care about none of that stuff.
Yeah, well, that was what else came out today.
I'm sure there's a lot of channels out there that love
have
that
a big
stuff,
fit about it.
We don't care.
Yeah, you're right.
We don't.
Yeah, I know.
That ain't.
I know. I just wanted you guys to know. I only sent her those so she would know why that group, because that group's going to get shut down. That was from the admin.
Okay.
And then everybody's going to be wanting to know why it got shut down. That's why.
Okay. All right, Rita.
So, but I'm going to get off here because people could be calling from over there, and you need to be talking to them.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. Bye.
People spreading misinformation. Oh my God, do I hate it? Do I hate it? Do I hate it? People do it, right? Usually when there's a rumor, we'll let you know it's, We're speculating. We let you know when we speculating. Dolly. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
You got to turn me down in the background.
Dolly.
Yes.
Man, I can't believe I got a hold of you.
You did it. Who's this? Where you calling from?
This is Tim calling from Georgia, man.
What's up, Tim?
Listen, brother. You know that man they called in that state park or whatever it was, right? They said he was coming out of that state park when they called him. You reckon they went over there and checked in the state park to see what he was over there doing?
Possibly. I don't know exactly which man you're talking about in the state park.
Okay, they had the 911 call that said he was in like a CRV or something like that.
Yes, creeping.
I wonder if they went over there and checked what he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, they said, the police said they don't find him to be anything to do with it. So I'm assuming they cleared him.
All right. You know, his brother got caught on a picture saying he was on a four-wheeler hunting them, and he's laid all back, kicked back there with the other boy.
Okay, look, can you say that one more time? Your accent got me. I didn't make out what you said. And I'm from Georgia. Didn't make out what you said.
I'm deep in the South, brother, but his brother was on his four-wheeler.
Okay.
Laid back, and you know, the chat and all was talking about how he was laid back on the four-wheeler, like, you know, just casual, man, like that was even going on with these kids, man. But I just don't get it, man. They ought to all be hysterical.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I'm taking into consideration that there is the possibility of abduction. I don't know if that's the guy that may be involved, or maybe there's a bunch of creepy ass people around there. I mean, like in my city, there's a lot of creepy people. So there's the possibility that if they got near that street, people driving by could have seen them. And this is the same situation in Summer Wells, that, you know, if Summer Wells was kidnapped, she had got down the hill into the street and somebody seen her, because they couldn't have seen her on the hill. So,
and you know, the footprints was in the last footprints was toward the road. So.
Yeah, the edge of the driveway. Yes.
The driveway.
And if that's the case, and them kids were out there, if they were in the yard, you couldn't see them from the street. But if they made it out to where the cars were, of course, anybody driving by could have seen those kids.
That's right. That's right.
So
I just hope they find them, brother. We praying for them anyway.
All right, you be good now.
You too, Dolly. It was good talking to you. This is my first time calling in, so we watch you all the time, man.
Awesome, cool. Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much.
All right, peace. Now, he said something. He deep south, right? Because look, I'm from Georgia. I was born in Columbus, Georgia, and I speak redneck. Okay, it's my first language, right? And I was like, "What the hell did he say?" Right? But then, you know, of course, I got it the second time he said it. But it's been a while, you know, because I live in Virginia, you know, good majority of my life now, and it's good to hear the Georgia accent, right? It's good to hear it. Dolly.
DJ.
Hey.
Hey. I just wanted to mention I have that whole broadcast by audio, and what he was talking about was the person they caught in the state park that someone called in.
Okay.
And it's pretty quickly that they debunked that and said that that was nothing, or that person was not of interest.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's all on the audio.
Yeah.
We could go over, because there is a little bit there. It's weird to me that they say the kids were last seen at 8 o'clock, but the grandma says the kids were last seen the day before, the night before.
Uh-huh.
And then there's a couple of different things that they talk about on the dispatch audio that I think are important. So we could go over that if you want.
Yeah.
Also, he was talking about Daniel's brother that was in that article where Daniel was doing the interview. A lot of people looked at that like he was kicked back to sitting on the ATV, but I mean, what do you want him to be like? He's just the brother of the guy that's the stepdad of these kids. Like,
Yeah, but don't you? They shouldn't they have seen these kids or heard these kids when they went missing? 10 o'clock in the morning.
oh yeah.
They're right behind
No,
the house, and they don't see or hear nothing either.
Well, I mean, if they had any type of relationship with these kids, I would assume if the kids were hungry or left the house or whatnot, they would go there and be like, hey, grandma or uncle or whatever, you know? So already I know they don't have a close relationship just off of that simple fact. But the way that the guy looks in this article and the interview that the stepdad did, I didn't really put anything past that. But we still don't know what brother it is that lives there. I haven't been able to find the exact information. Apparently he has two brothers, and one brother supposedly was married and I think may have a kid. And so I don't understand why he would be the one that lived on the property and the other one was one that had bad history in crime. So that's concerning.
Yes. Yeah. I listen here at this point, their family's suspicious. There's no doubt it's suspicious. Did they do anything? That I don't know. But definitely as far as being suspicious, they're definitely suspicious.
You keep saying the abduction thing, but that is one thing that the mounted police have said straight up is that they have ruled out any signs of abduction. Now, I know there's still a possibility that they just were just so meticulous they didn't leave any signs behind.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put
I don't think you
really
can ever,
that much.
I don't think you can ever really 100% rule out abduction, right? I think you could 99.9% rule it out, but I mean, there's always that chance that I can be wrong and the police can be wrong, you know? That
Right. No, I agree. And then also, I think what's very telling, I think that you had said that they had scaled back search efforts. I saw an article today. I hadn't gotten a chance to show it to you, but it basically said that command center where they were searching out of and all the people that were helping search,
Yeah.
it was gone.
Yeah.
They all packed up and left.
Yeah, because they're switched over more to a criminal investigation, just like they did in the Sebastian Rogers. Remember in Sebastian Rogers, I said they're going to search this second time, and then they're never going to search again.
Yes, that's exactly what you said, and that's what happened. But it was like a massive search. It wasn't just like a one day and then it's over.
Searches cost so much money to do, and police stations have a budget. They have a budget just like anybody else, like a school system has a budget. Once they start to go, okay, well, we can put a week into this, and if we don't get nothing, they got to fuel the planes, they got to feed the people. So I mean, there's a budget that's involved in this, and there's other crime that happens. They can't use their whole force to do one thing, but for so long before they have to spread it back out to fight crime in the city, right? So
plus, I think they have like some type of equation of probability as to what the survival is or what the chances are that these kids did just leave their house and are just wandering out in the woods.
They don't believe these kids ran away. They don't believe they wandered off.
I don't think so either.
Not at all. I mean, they pretty much say it without saying it. You know, they're saying it, but they ain't saying it. These kids are not in the woods. We put up a perimeter they couldn't have got out of, and we searched it thoroughly, and they're not here. We're, and you got,
and the one man that said
the criminal investigation unit is already there. They've been working since Saturday, the day after they went missing.
Right. So they knew right off the bat something was really wrong.
I think they suspected it. They wasn't sure because you can't go, oh, well, they did it, so let's not search. They still have to search, even though they know them kids ain't in the woods.
Right, but this is the problem we find ourselves in every single case is that they get a call, oh, my kid ran out the door, and they don't, seal off the house, luminol anything, or suspect anything instantly, whereas there could be pertinent pieces in the house or wherever that could get cleaned up.
Yes.
They go in, even if it's the second day.
Yes, I believe when kids go missing, they should instantly treat it as a criminal investigation. The house that they're in needs to be treated like a crime scene until there's answers, right? Them people,
and as a parent, if my kid was missing, I mean, hell, I would want them to come in there and tear apart her room or whatever, because that's, I'm looking for help to help find my kid.
Yeah.
I've got nothing, even though, I mean, I can see at times where people feel like, their house is not good enough and somebody will judge them, but still.
If you're not doing anything wrong, you shouldn't have anything to worry about. That's how I look at, TVs or cameras everywhere. I'm not doing nothing wrong. I don't care if you videotape me, right? I don't look at it like that. I look at the only people that worry about that shit are criminals. I don't, look when
See, I used to think like that also, but then just paying attention to the cases we have currently in front of us, like freaking Karen Reed, you can't talk on your cell phone and freaking have a private conversation and then be picked apart. And the judgment that I'm seeing from this particular group that's being talked about getting closed, you can have 15 people back to back say they know this stepdad. He's been the nicest person ever. They have no single complaint about him. And then right under that, somebody will say, I don't care. He looks like a dope head.
He's a dope head. Yeah. That's the thing about the internet.
Yeah, I mean,
you never know what's, you got to take it with a grain of salt. And the people that are posting misinformation just to rile people up, shame on them. Shame on them. I pray nothing ever happens to their families, and they end up in a situation like this. It's not a joke. It's not a joke, and it's not funny to make up things in the disappearance of a missing kid.
No, it really isn't. And I think that's why it's so important whenever, like when I was telling the details I had last night, I made sure to say, okay, this is the part that's rumored, because what happens is somebody's listening to your show. It's not intentional or in bad will. They'll just hear something like,
and then they run with it.
Backpack was found, and then they go run to 15 other channels, and then it gets spread. Like, it'll spread faster than something that's actually really important that needs to be spread. It's crazy.
Yeah, remember when I called Tony 1202? Every channel on YouTube was calling him 1202. It spread like fire. Yeah. It spread like a bad disease. So yeah, you can say, I understand that words come with power. It comes with a great responsibility when people give you a voice on the internet, that you use that voice for good and not to be a terrible human being.
Sadly, I just don't think that can be monitored. Like you were saying, there needs to be someone assigned to correct it or whatever. It's just too many people able to communicate all at once, to the point where it's harmful. There's a fine line between it being helpful and it being harmful, and I'm really starting to see some of the harmful effects of it, especially with that thing that I just got sent. Like, I mean, who does that? Why would you say that?
Yeah, I don't know. Terrible things is being
to
said.
Be home soon.
Okay.
I won't keep you.
All right. Peace.
All right, bye.
Okay, so let me fill y'all in what's going on a little bit. Let me shut this phone line for a second so I can talk without the phone ringing. They started these Facebook groups. It's a good place to share information. I watch and monitor a lot of these Facebook groups to hear what the new rumors are, if there's any clues that break, what the neighbors say, because a lot of times people in the local areas join these groups. And we even heard that from a caller last night. He talked about a pictou group that they were discussing things in that was a local group. So you monitor these groups to hear what the locals are saying or what they're seeing, because some of them live in that area that, that's how we knew that they were searching lakes and things like that. But people come into these groups and they say things like, this didn't happen. I'm just using this as an example. They found the little girl's body. They'll say things like this. This is not true, guys. They did not. It would be all over national news right now if that was the case. As soon as something like that happens, it's going to be all over national news. But they'll say these things, or they found a body part, or they'll do these things. And it's just disgusting, the people that do this, right? Because you're lying. And what would you do this for? Let's just say the mother and the father are innocent, right? I know a lot of people don't think that, but let's just say they are. And now you got people posting things of they found your kid's body. Would you want to hear that? What if your kid's alive? It is absolutely disgusting behavior. Now, I know a lot of these groups have popped up and they have admin, which are basically like my mods. Mods don't catch everything, right? Some things get through. Dolly heard that rumor 2 hours ago on another channel. See, Gary, see what I mean? See exactly what I mean? I spend a lot of time fighting misinformation here on the internet. I hate it. I hate it so much because I'll let you guys know. We talk theories. If it's a theory, it's not misinformation. It's what you think may have happened, right? Speculation, rumors. You have to let people know these things, right? If you don't, then you're out here spreading misinformation. And I've gotten in big battles with people in the Sebastian Rogers case. Remember when the monkey dude was making up pictures of Chris Proudfoot, and they took down the Nancy Gray stuff, and everybody got mad at me, thought I was picking on that dude and I was homophobic. And I was like, no, he's purposely spreading misinformation. It is horrible. It is the worst thing you can do, right? Because I've always said this. I don't know if they did it or not. I'm suspicious of them. I have my thoughts, but I have no proof. When you come up here and you're telling your viewers something is a fact and you're presenting it like it's a fact and it's not, you can cause real harm to somebody. What if you was to say something and somebody goes out and hurts somebody because of what you said? Okay, you didn't clarify, and next thing you know, they think this dude's a murderer when there's no proof that he's a murderer, and somebody goes and hurts him. You are legally responsible for that. Okay, your words are powerful up here, and I don't think people realize that when they get out here and they just start fucking lying for no good reason whatsoever. Okay, you can, if you have a theory, come up here and say, hey, I got this theory that this, like today, I was like, okay, here's a theory for you guys. Lily left with her book bag. Was she going to school? Is it possible that she could have walked out and started walking to school and somebody grabbed her? That's a theory. You know that ain't fact, right? I don't present it as fact, right? So you got to let people know when you think, okay, is this a possibility? Not get up here and be like, well, Lily went to school when somebody kidnapped her. She took her book bag. She had to be going to school. She had to have got kidnapped. You can't present shit like that. Okay, you can't do that. Because then somebody's going to hear that, and then next thing you know, 15 channels going to be like, well, Lily was going to school. Somebody grabbed her. And that's how fast misinformation spreads on the internet. It spreads like wildfire, if not faster. We've all seen misinformation spread like a disease up here. And I get a lot of hell for fighting against it because it messes with people's...
Why spread false infos? It's heartbreaking.
Absolutely. I'll tell you why they do it. They do it for financial gain. Okay? You got to remember that everybody's monetized up here. They have an incentive to lie. They have an incentive to tell you some bullshit. They do. I mean... That's why I always say, don't trust YouTubers. Don't trust me. Okay. I don't trust any of these people. And that's why they not real friendly with me, is because I give up the magic trick. Okay. You know, if you was a magic guy, would you tell how the trick is done? I say that these people are doing this because of this, and you can clearly see what channels are doing it. You can clearly see when people are lying and they're pushing a narrative. They're not in the middle. They don't give you both sides of, it's just the parents did it. Okay. Parent did it. That's it. That's in the story. Ain't no other possibilities. There's no other theories. There's no other nothing. Hello? Is it a legitimate news channel? Okay. All right, I'll play it. They're going to have an update in just a few minutes. Okay, it's coming up. All right, I'm playing it now. CBS Nova Scotia News. All right, got it. Bye. Okay, apparently CBS Nova Scotia, they're saying there's going to be an update in just a few minutes. All right, I'll pull that up so we have it. I got it already pulled up for us. Maybe there may be a break in the case. CTV News is doing a live at 6 p.m. I have it this pulled up right now. So I don't know if there's anything. Yes, a big one. That's our supper hour news. Everybody make sure you tell Katie Proudfoot happy Mother's Day. Now listen, like I said, I suspect Katie. She's my suspect, my number one suspect in the disappearance of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. But I have no proof. I'm not going to be beating any mother on Mother's Day. Okay, I just ain't doing it. I just hate to be like, here's the thing, guys. There's always the possibility that any of us could be wrong. I know you in your mind, you think I cannot be wrong, right? I think the same way. But truth is, we can be wrong. We can be wrong. And if you treat somebody so horribly bad, and if you find out that you're wrong, you can't take that back. That horrible, mean things you say, you can't take that back. They've already been said. You know, you can't put them words back in your mouth. You just can't do it. So I try to stay neutral in it. But do I think Katie has something to do with the disappearance? In my mind, I would say, yes, she's a suspect to me, just like the parents in the Nova Scotia case. But do I have any proof against them or Katie? No. So I keep it neutral, that all possibilities are still there until we know more, until things lean us one way or another. Would I have acted like Katie in a situation like this? Absolutely not. Right. But does that make Katie guilty? No. We're not the prosecutors. We're not the judge and the jury. Happy on Mother's Day. Well, Katie, yeah. Listen, I'm not wishing bad on anybody. The truth always comes to light. And if Katie had anything to do with the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers, it will come out. And when the time comes to be mean to that woman, if she has something to do with it, then I'll be mean to those people, right? I'll say mean things. But until that time, there's no need to bash people that according to the police have been cooperative, have passed a lie detectors test, right? So right now ain't the time, I guess, and why I say such hurtful, hateful things, right? It's not necessary, right? Now, if you got evil in your heart, it's going to show, right? It's going to show every time. Would you want somebody to treat you like that without facts? Think about that. And you know what the Bible says. Treat others as you would treat yourself. Be nice to your neighbor, all that good shit, Katie is another. This stream really is not about Katie Proudfoot. Okay, it's a totally different situation. And we're about a minute away from this news kicking in. So we're going to take a listen to this. I was getting ready to get out of here, but I guess we're going to stay around and see if there's any gobble judge. That's right, Bo. You listen, you don't get away with your crimes. Karma is a bitch. Everything I've ever done wrong, karma has got me 7 times for it. 7-fold. That's why I try to be a good person, because when I do good things happen to me. And look, guy, I love it when good things happen. I do bad shit plagues me. It's the worst. So I try to avoid bad like the plague. I just try to do good things, as many good things as I can do. And I always ain't been a good person. So I got a lot of making up to do for the bad shit I've done. So I look at things like that. Like, I don't want bad karma. I don't want bad things happening to me. And the more good you put into this universe, the more good that's going to come back to you. I promise you that. I give you my word. If I give you my word on nothing else, you do good for people and people will be good to you. It's a vibe. It's an energy. Like, I ain't saying bad things don't happen to good people. It does. But most of the time, you see people that are doing good, it's because they got a good spirit. It's just the way it is. So try it. If you're a bad person out there watching, try being good and watch how much better your life becomes being a good person. It's night and day. It ain't even close. You are 100. I know, because I've been on the end of both of it. I've been on the end of bad karma and I've been on the end of good karma, right? And that saying, what goes around comes around. that shit is true. Like, I didn't make that up. Somebody way smarter than me came up with what goes around comes around. That is true. That is absolutely truth, right? And I'm just telling you, do good, and you're going to see good things come about. All right, so let's share this. Let's kill that music right now. Live stream coming soon. They're saying there's going to be some update. I'm not sure what this is about, but we're going to be here for it. This is supposed to be the latest update on this. Okay. It's true. There is an update today on CTV News at 6 or 7. Okay. See for yourself. Let me see what this is. Okay, there is a couple gaps in the fence. Let me save image. Where the kids could have got out of. Okay. Yeah, so people are showing these openings in the fence on these groups, but the problem with that is these openings. Hold on, let me pull this up. There's another fence behind it. I just want to show y'all this real fast. Can y'all see this? Let me blow it up bigger on the screen before we get into this news report. Like, they're showing these circles where the fence is open, but there's a chain link fence that runs right behind it. But then again, it looks like it's open right here beside the playhouse. I don't know. The kids, if they could open the door, they could open the gate. So I don't really even think that matters, to be dead honest. People are saying the kids didn't go outside. The mother did this. She shows no emotion. Baby girl says. Baby girl, they're suspicious to me too. I agree. The lack of emotion says a lot. Okay. Especially in a missing kids case. But right now there's no proof. Right. So we keep all options open, but I agree with you that she is, and him, my number one suspects in what happened to these kids. I'm not saying that baby girl is wrong. I'm just saying we don't have any proof yet. It's supposed to be at 6 and it's 5:57 in Nova Scotia. Okay. All right. Here in Ottawa, it's almost 5 p.m. Yeah, it's almost 5 p.m. here. The mother leaving the area is super sus. I agree with all the things you guys are saying. Yes, this is the local news. We keep up with everything here on Dolly Vision. We don't miss nothing. We keep up with the Facebook groups. We keep up with rumors, news. We're on top of it. Okay. We usually stay right on top of everything. See what this is. I was checking on something right quick. There's a lot of people interested in what's going on in this case. That is for sure. It is taken off like wildfire. It is taken off. Okay. So the story are too close together. I know people married 37 years old. Have you got them in separate some event, it'd be two different stories. Allie, I said the same thing about PJ. If you separated me and PJ, the stories would be two different stories. Okay. It wouldn't be so scripted like that. Okay.
Picture evidence from an experiment using surveillance cameras to deal with nuisance complaints in Wolfville is in. New site. The location for the construction of a middle school in Sydney Mines is official, but don't expect it to be built right away. And final stitch, a yarn shop serving knitters for half a century is shutting its doors for good.
Fog and drizzle will turn into rain from west to east throughout the province on Saturday, though this will kick out for Mother's Day. Your full forecast is coming up.
The town of Wolfville is recommending the municipality remove surveillance cameras in the neighborhoods surrounding Acadia University following a 2-year pilot project. Town officials say tickets from bylaw officers and reports of nuisances are down since the cameras were installed, but there's little evidence they had anything to do with it. Josh Hoffman has more.
Okay, well, I'm going to mute that for a minute because that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. That is basically just the local news, but I will leave it up and running for now. But you're outside. Okay. Well, PJ, come in and see if that is the situation. Okay. If that is the situation. Why wasn't the kids the first to report? I don't know. I would think, there's other stuff that goes on in a town. So just right now we're hearing there's going to be an update, but we're not positive if this is the update or not. So I thought I would just tune into it to make sure we didn't miss anything. Don't try to be Dolly at home. It's dangerous. That is absolutely right. It's only 4 p.m. where you're at. Okay, so it may not have got to that part yet. But, of course, we will give the update, whatever the update is. Gary RT says, this is the biggest thing going on here.
Just a little help for Java Buzz on your vacation. Travel easy, enjoy, and be safe.
Thank you,
for all
guys.
you do. Revolving hearts emoji.
Thank you, guys. We leave tomorrow night to go cover the John O'Keefe case. It's a little bit of vacation, a little bit of work, but I'm going to continue to be going live with you. I'm glad y'all reminded me I'm leaving tomorrow. I got to hook up my hotspot box so I can have my computer on the road with me. So I'll be going live from my laptop. Any updates in the cases, I'll definitely be giving. I hear my producer coming in. Okay, what's the word, producer?
I'm gonna look. Hold on, I was driving, so I couldn't really look. But I saw the update that there was gonna be an update, and then I saw the channel that was supposed to, and it was between the two channels. And then they were saying between 6 and 7, or 6 or 7. So
have a wonderful, safe, and fun
thinking
trip.
It might be just a blurb on the nightly news, but I mean,
thank you, Helena. Thank you, guys. Where are we heading?
I'm not telling nobody nothing. You can tell them what you want. I just don't like that when we travel.
Oh, that people know our locations?
Yeah, it just feels more safe not to. I mean, they're gonna see us in the car. We always stream the whole thing.
Yeah, we stream pretty much everything.
Why do they need to know exactly what time we're leaving and where we're
going? Nobody. I'm just saying, what's some of the things we're heading first? Where are we heading first?
New York.
We're heading to New York first.
I want to see Long Island.
I thought we were going to Maryland first.
No, because I'd rather see Cape Cod than the Ocean City down in Maryland. Cape Cod is supposedly a lot better.
I know, but why not hit the first one first and work?
Because we only have 5 days. We can't do all that, and I don't know. I hadn't even really fully. I don't know. It could be either or. We could do.
Okay, we may be in Ocean City, Maryland, for any of you guys that are in that area.
I hear myself in the freaking AirPod. It's so annoying.
So, and then we're heading to New York. Then we're heading to Boston, and we're staying at the Lizzie Borden house.
And I wanted to do a live later to talk about that because I don't even remember the story. I know she hated her stepmom and that she was the only one in the house with the servant or the housekeeper.
And then we're going to Cape Cod.
Maybe Salem with the witch trials.
Salem witch trials, maybe.
and then Cape Cod, and then back down. I don't know. I don't plan nothing.
Okay.
I just had ideas of what I wanted to see possibly.
Yeah, so we'll be in all them damn locations, okay, this week. All right, we leave tomorrow afternoon or something like that. So we're heading out tomorrow afternoon. So you'll definitely see us in Denham, Canton, Massachusetts for the Karen Reed stuff, and we're going to try to do some other things. Salem is a tourist trap. Well, that's what we are, tourists. Right? We're just, we're doing a little bit of work and a little bit of play. It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of Dolly true crime coverage, and it's a little bit of Dolly adventures and a little bit of PJ's vacation. But she lets me work a little bit on the vacation. So instead of us just taking a week off, I still get to cover the trials, the cases. And of course, I'll be going live with you guys nightly from the hotel or wherever we're staying at while we're there. We're definitely the Lizzie Borden. Did I say it right? No. Borden. Okay. Lizzie Borden. We're staying in her room, the axe murderer. Right. So I'll be live with you guys from there for sure. It was just on, Dolly.
Yeah, see, it's like a little snip in the local news. That's what it is.
Were on hand for the announcement Friday.
As a principal of the only competent school in Nova Scotia.
Send it to my Facebook.
It's on the other one, isn't it? It's on the page. It's not on YouTube. That's what I was worried about.
Where? Send it to me real fast. PJ, I'll send it to me. We'll play it right now. Give me a second.
Okay.
Dolly, do you see us? Yes, I see you, Miss Robinson. I think you missed the update. 30 seconds, that's all. Oh my God. You missed it. Okay, hold on. We ain't missing nothing. We got it. PJ's on it. Back it up. Back this up.
To Memorial High.
See?
Wonderful news for the students. It'll be a state-of-the-art building with everything that
Says that's something the government is keeping in mind with the build of the new school.
We're going to have some multiple builds and looking.
An infant is in critical condition after a crash involving a Freightliner truck in Center Rawdon. The crash happened Thursday afternoon at the intersection of Highway 14 and South Rawdon Road.
Update is that search of a lake turned up nothing.
Was traveling west on the highway, and a Chevrolet Cruze was traveling north on South Rawdon Road when they collided. Police say the baby in the car.
Here they are. Here they are.
1 week since 4-year-old Jack Sullivan died the RCMP detachment in Stellarton.
Here we go.
Missing. Stuffed animals and flowers can be seen laying against a post outside the RCMP detachment in Stellarton. It's been 1 week since 4-year-old Jack Sullivan and 6-year-old Lily Sullivan were reported missing from their home in Lansdowne Station. Searchers spent 6 days scouring for the siblings before calling off the active search. RCMP say the missing persons investigation will continue, and they are not ruling out an abduction or foul play. An infant is in critical condition after a crash involving.
Okay, so right there, they said they're not ruling out abduction or foul play. That's pretty much what my thing was today. Is basically that you cannot rule out an abduction. That it is a little strange that Lily grabbed her book bag like if she was going to walk to school or go somewhere. We did have a dispatch call of a vehicle in the area, and just because listen. Maybe that creepo ain't the one that did it, but maybe there was another creepo out there somewhere that possibly could have done it.
Oh, I saw pictures of one. There's definitely ones around.
So, and there's bad people in the area, according to our producers. So I think all these people should be investigated. But, anytime a child goes missing or anytime something like this happens, the first people that need to be cleared are the parents. Okay. It needs to be the parents that are cleared first. If you stay in Lizzie's room, she said she will lower the boom. Okay, I don't know what that hell that means, but we're definitely staying in a room. We already have that reserved, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we will be.
I've already paid for that and everything.
Yeah, that's already paid for, and we know for a fact we're going to be there in the axe murderer's room. Hopefully nothing gets me. PJ ain't scared of a ghost, but I am. Okay, if something starts levitating or floating, I am done. So we're going to try to hit a few more little haunted things along the way if we can. A1 Pizza in Falls River is the best place, PJ and Dolly. Don't go to chain restaurants in Falls River. We have such amazing mom and pop places.
We always go to mom and pop.
Yeah, we usually always hit
those
mom
are
and
the
pop
best.
places. We like that's one thing we do is food. We're foodies. You see how chubby I am? Look. We're foodies, so we usually try to hit the good places. So if there's anything along our travels that we're going to, go past that you locals know about, definitely let us know places to try and things to see on our trip. That's where we get most of our information, is the viewers, right? Of things to see and things to do. And we'll be live, so you'll be able to tell us why we're in those areas. I can't wait to see what you guys experience at Lizzie's family's house. Yeah, we're doing the ghost hunting thing too, right? So we
pay for that, but yeah.
Well, I pay for it. Ain't no big deal.
I know, but like I didn't pre-book it. That's what I meant. I didn't.
Okay. So there's only 6 rooms in the hotel?
Yeah.
Well, it's not a hotel, it's a house, right?
It's like a bed and breakfast house. Like the whole first floor is like public access, and the basement is public access, and the ghost hunt overnight is in the basement.
The ghost hunt overnight is in the basement. Okay. Like the Alamo. Pee-wee's Big Adventure. So we're going to bring you guys along with us. Don't worry. Tonight, I got to get together all the cameras, our night vision stuff, our ghost stuff. Most of that's in the camper, right?
I don't know where none of that stuff is. I can barely keep up with where my socks are.
Usually I keep all that stuff in. I'll have to find all of it. We got all our ghost meters, our spirit boxes, all that stuff, our headlamps, stuff like that to take with us. And we're going to bring you guys, of course, along for the ride with us. So right now, the news had no real update.
Someone posted the story from this Frank magazine they had to purchase, and it talks about Malehya and her indigenous community background. I was trying to skim it.
So she has some Native Americans and Native Canadians.
I think it's her dad that is on the reservation.
What do you call Canadians? Canadian, like how you have Native Americans. Are they Native
Canadians?
Native Canadians?
I don't know. I'm not from Canada.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Native Canadians. Definitely use an EFB recorder. They're not. That's not your phone. First Nations, says Mab. Indigenous.
That's what I said. Indigenous communities.
Yeah.
Intergenerational trauma was a factor in the disappearance of Jack and Lily. There's no doubt that intergenerational trauma was a factor in the disappearance of Jack and Lily from their family from their home in rural Pictou County last week. We just don't know the whole story yet. You don't say.
Yeah.
Now I want to know.
Now, is there supposed to be another update, or was that it?
I'm not sure. I just saw the post, and I can't.
Patricia says we called him First Native.
Oh, okay.
Cape Cod is the best. We go there often.
I told you. And Martha's Vineyard is on Cape Cod.
So, yeah, we're going to be hitting some of those places. So, if you're in the area and you want to meet us, let us know. Not that we're going to meet everybody, but if you're somewhere generally around where we'll be.
Up on us like random.
Yeah, don't pop up on us randomly. That's a little scary, PJ says. She's big on stranger danger. Me, I'm not, so I don't care. People pop up on me all the time. Like when I'm on the road, people run up, Dolly, and I'm good with it, right? PJ's a little, she hates that I tell people where I'm going to be because she thinks somebody's going to stick an axe in my back or something.
Well, I mean, I need to be prepared to meet some people. I don't want to meet people in my pajamas, and I don't want to meet people when I just had a bad morning and didn't have coffee. And
she has a lot of rules. I don't like you can, as long as you're nice, you can come up to me pretty much anywhere. I don't mind. I usually talk to everybody. I'll talk you to death like I do on YouTube.
No, you don't. Stop lying to these people. You don't off the bat talk anybody to death.
If they come up to me, I talk to them. I just not talk to you.
No, I'm not saying you don't not.
I'm not as talkative, not online.
Not like this.
Yeah, I'm not as. Everybody thinks I just talk, but I don't. Usually when I'm offline, I'm pretty quiet. But when people come up to me, of course I talk to you, I'm not as talkable as I am because I sit up here and talk for hours. So when I get done with YouTube, I like to chill. I like to relax. I don't say much. I watch TV or I do something in the yard or some handyman shit, normal life stuff, right? I'm not just a YouTuber. I'm also a human being.
I see. So they're trying to allude that Malehya's family history, meaning domestic violence, had a role in the disappearance of these babies.
Okay, so she was experiencing domestic violence when she was young, so it's okay to be a bad parent?
I can read it really fast. Look, okay, there's no doubt that intergenerational trauma was a factor in the disappearance of Jack and Lily Sullivan from their home. We just don't know the whole story. As readers will be familiar, Lily 6 and Jack 4 have been missing since May 2nd when police received a 911 call that they had wandered away from their ramshackle mini home on Gerlach Road. In separate interviews, the children's mother, Malehya, and stepfather, Daniel, told mainstream media the children had slipped out of the sliding back door while they were still in bed with their 1-year-old daughter. They called police when they woke around 10 a.m. Intergenerational Trauma Exhibit 1, Malehya's origin story. She's the daughter of Cindy and Henry. I'm not going to name their last names. I don't care. A member of the First Nation tribe, whatever it's called. It's a long, funky name. I don't really think I could pronounce, even if someone told me how to pronounce it. The relationship didn't stick on account of Henry's penchant for violence. Henry had already started building his rap sheet when Cindy put the run to him in the early aughts, but Henry wouldn't stay away. Malehya was barely out of diapers when Henry beat up Cindy and was convicted of assault and forcible entry in 2004. As if that wasn't enough to put Henry on the RCMP's persons of interest list, consider the rest of his rap sheet. Henry's greatest hits. 2014, sentenced to 2 years of federal time for drug trafficking, theft, and weapons charges. 2015, another 6 months in custody plus probation for assault with a weapon and assault causing bodily harm, which brings us to last week when Grandpa Henry came out of the woodwork to say hi. He commented underneath Malehya's post that the kids were missing, saying, "Baby girl, why didn't you tell me that first happened? Please never hold nothing back from me ever again. I love you, baby. Next time something like this happens, you tell me right away. Baby, I'm a tracker." Shortly after her kids disappeared, Malehya fled to her mom Cindy's house in Wentworth. Then she blocked Daniel on social media. Daniel has no criminal record. His only charge as an adult was for simple drug possession in 2011, and it didn't stick.
Drugs,
there we go.
huh? So
and it didn't stick, but 2011, that's a long time. So,
yeah.
Cindy subsequently confirmed that Malehya's relationship with Daniel has ended. What can it all mean? Dun, dun, dun. That's the end of the
Okay, so the granddad is a tracker?
That's what he says. He seems like he may like to make things up. Clearly has a rocky past, violence. Henry is Malehya's biological father.
Okay, so he has a drug possession charge in 2011. That's a lot of time. I mean, you can clean up in that amount of time, but people were saying, that they do the rumors anyway, is that they're druggies, but we don't know for factual truth if that is true. He's a First Nation tracker, says Mab. You may need that at this point, right? We may need some trackers.
One case you went to, there was a tracker.
Oh, that was
a funny guy.
What was his tomahawk chop? What was his name?
Oh my God, pork chop.
Chat room, help me out. What was the native tracker that I was hanging out with at the Cavalcante? When he escaped from jail, we went looking for that prisoner, and they had the Native American guy, and he was a tracker. Tomahawk Joe, or it was something like that.
I don't remember at all.
I
would have called him pork chop.
Black Hawk, that was it.
Black Hawk. And see, this is what I was saying when
Johnny Black Hawk.
When I called earlier, and why all of this is so frustrating. Someone in chat says, and I'm not singling anyone out, everybody's been saying it. Oh, the neighbor said that it was a drug house. The neighbor also said they were 500 feet away, and that they seen cars the day before, and the neighbor was also anonymous. Like, how do we actually confirm any of this information that's coming in and stop it from being repeated if it's not confirmed.
Yeah, it's no way. The rumor mill is exactly what it is a rumor mill. Maybe we do need Johnny Blackhawk out there with us,
think
right?
we do.
A Native American tracker. Well, they got the First Nation tracker in our family. So, I mean, natives have always been good at tracking, you know, and footsteps and, you know, things like that. I mean, I guess it never hurts, right? It never hurts. So I'm going to get ready to wrap it up because I got to go get dinner and things like that. If anything else comes out in this case, like if there is an update or anything like that, I will bring it back to you guys later tonight. Okay. Because, you know, I still got my night show that goes down and we'll open the phone lines up and stuff like that. So let me know in the comment box. Is there could this have been an abduction? Right? Or are we still pretty confident that the parents are the number one suspects in this? All right. And I will see you guys in a few hours after I eat dinner. And remember this, if nobody else does, Dolly loves you guys. Peace.